Greetings, nerds. This is Will. This is from the Senator podcast. Yeah, my mic was muted, but welcome to the Star Trek San Diego Comic-Con 2025 live stream. I'm going to be covering the panel that will be starting here in just about 5 minutes from San Diego Comic-Con. It's in Hall H, the big hall that everybody is standing room only for tickets and everything for that event. And so I wish I were in Hall H. I'm sure you do too, but with that, today we do know that there's going to be two major things we're going to be talking about at this panel. Star Trek, the new Star Trek show, Starfleet Academy, which is going to be premiering on next year on Paramount Plus. Also, we know the first panel is going to be the Star Trek Strange New Worlds panel. Of course, Ensign Mount will not be there today. I don't know if you saw on his social medias earlier, but he just congratulations to Ensign. He had a birth of his second child, Violet, and so he, of course, has definitely has his priorities in order, and is going to be spending time with his family as they celebrate the birth of their second child. So that's why he will not be at the panel this year. But we do know that the panels that will be moderated by Robert Picardo, who of course played the Doctor on Voyager, and also is going to be in the upcoming Star Trek Starfleet Academy. He's going to be moderating the panels here shortly at San Diego, and we know as far as cast members that are going to be there, as far as the Strange New Worlds, we understand that Rebecca Romaine is going to be there. Ethan Peck is also going to be there. Jess Bush, Christina Chong, also Paul Wesley is also going to be there. Also, there is going to be the creative team as far as Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers will be there, as well as possibly Alex Kurtzman. So a lot's going on in the Star Trek universe today. We actually did get there was a blurb from the Hollywood Reporter that I saw on social media about some things related to Star Trek, as well as the Strange New Worlds. We do know that season 4 just finished filming this week, and I guess they'll take a short little break, obviously, and then they do plan to go into production for the 5th and final season this year. So that will be an abbreviated season. So typically we've had 10 episodes. We're just had episode 3 air this past week, but we will have an abbreviated final season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds when it does finally air. So that is let me just share with you a quick little clip that was mentioned today regarding Strange New Worlds. Let me just get it up real fast. Computer's being a little slow. Here we go. But this is a little clip with the showrunners and the team, and if they plan to reveal the full original cast. And this was an interview that was given today at the THR's suite.
Wow.
Wow.
Of characters.
Wow.
Wow.
So the full,
Straight for a spoiler. How's
Right
that?
to the jugular.
the full OG cast doesn't exist at the very front of the TOS era. So we're going to get as close as possible while not jumping deep into the TOS seasons.
Wow.
I'm not sure you answered it.
You're going to meet some of them for sure, and there's going to be some surprises.
Okay.
Delightfully
Speaking of
vague.
surprises, are we ever going to see Romulans?
You've seen Romulans. You saw Romulans in season 1.
I can't keep up. Okay, what about, are we going to see
But you may see them again. Are you going to
Cyborg.
see Cyborg?
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Remember that guy?
Oh, well, it's
Well,
interesting you should ask that.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Interesting question.
You
You very well may see
very well may see Cyborg.
version of Cyborg.
Yes.
I love non.
Alrighty, what are your thoughts on that? So we might get Cybok, or was that a joke? Was it tongue in cheek? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the chat below. That was one of the first things I just wanted to jump out here with the panel. that was given there at the the Hollywood Reporter, one of the trades. They shared that that video clip on Twitter earlier today with the showrunners from Star Trek and also the cast that's going to be there. Maybe we'll hear more about that here in the panel during the Strange New Worlds segment, which looks like it is 3:30 Eastern time, and we will be checking the socials and everything. Unfortunately, Popverse I did this last season and last year's Comic-Con, there was a great live stream blog, but we got several things on my feeds here on my computer, so we'll be tracking those things. Of course, we'll be waiting for any trailers that drop, and of course we can all watch them here together and react together as far as a fandom. But let me hear your thoughts on what you heard there. If you just joined the live stream, I shared a clip that was from the San Diego Comic-Con, the suite that the Hollywood Reporter had for the Star Trek Strange New Worlds cast and creative crew. And the question was, will there be essentially an overlap between the Strange New Worlds, and will we see the full OG cast of the original series when we get to the end of the series of Strange New Worlds? And so, of course, if you've watched the first season, we do know that there's just some folks who just weren't around during that pilot with Where No Man Has Gone Before, because of course Dr. McCoy wasn't there. Obviously, Chekhov wasn't there. So we'll be interested to see how they handle those things. Of course, now we do have Scotty. Sulu was in the original pilot as well, Gary Mitchell, Kelso, and some others. So we'll see where they go with that. I would anticipate we may see some of the characters from that original pilot in maybe the finale of Strange New Worlds, but other characters like maybe Dr. McCoy and Chekhov, maybe not. But I would love for you to sign off in the chat. Let me know what you think about that quote and comment from the executive creative team of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and think if you think that we'll see all of our original series characters show up in some form or fashion over these final 2 seasons of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. But other than that, there's been a couple other things too as we so I look over to the socials as far as what, if anything, has been posted so far. Of course, probably at this juncture, we're probably just getting some of the everyone getting brought up on the stage and for the Star Trek Hall H panel. But but let me know your thoughts. How are you feeling about Strange New Worlds so far? I've watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't had a chance to watch episode 3 because my Paramount app was acting funny last night. So whenever I was trying to watch the episode, I could never get it to load. I don't know if anybody had that same problem as well, but I do know essentially I have seen some things out there about what did transpire in the 3rd episode. So haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I will probably do a reaction video to both episodes 2 and 3. I did do one for episode 1 if you haven't seen it here on the channel, but I did share my thoughts about episode 1. Overall, I enjoyed the season, so what I've seen so far. Episode 2, just as far as just teasing my thoughts as far as my upcoming video, I like the way they maintained continuity as far as just having Trelane show up as an Andorian to the rest of the crew, so that at least in universe they didn't know who he was. But of course, this was a complete tie-in. Spoiler alert for folks who haven't seen some of the episodes from Next Generation and Voyager. There's always been a fan theory out there for years, so that Trelane and Q were either the same person or somehow all in a continuum together. And this episode definitely confirms that Q is indeed Trelane's father. Don't and so 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 they did go into honor fan service, and I think Peter David may have written a book about it some years ago too. That sort of that they pulled into the canon. But yeah, that's what we saw with that. Like I said, also we're going to have a presentation today from the new Starfleet Academy show, and one of the we did get earlier this morning a poster. You've probably seen it on social media, but if you haven't, this was the new poster that debuted for Starfleet Academy. Step into your future, and we'll definitely get some more information about it as today as we get deeper into the panel that is taking place right now. But really like this poster. I mean, it's really really, what we know about the series is it's set during the Discovery timeline, and we also did get some photos from the cast and crew this week as well from Entertainment Weekly. We did get here. We have Holly Hunter, who is going to be playing the Chancellor of the Starfleet Academy. That we get her in this great photo. Of course, we also know, as I mentioned before, Robert Picardo returns as the Doctor, and he is actually moderating the panel today. And these photos are courtesy of Entertainment Weekly. We also got Tig Notaro, who is coming over from Star Trek Discovery. Of course, we do know that this show, again, as I noted, is set in the Star Trek Discovery time period. So we're having some continuity between that show and the new Starfleet Academy. A couple other things about the Academy. This is the show. The premise is it's going to be the first time that Starfleet has had an actual academy since the Federation has had it resurfaced after all the events of the burn, how everything just went to hell after that. And of course, if you've watched Star Trek Discovery, you are very familiar with a lot of the stories that were part of that. So those are some of the characters that we've seen so far. And also we did get additional characters. Also, somewhat was wondering about Mary Wiseman, who played Tilly. I don't know if originally I know they were planning on this maybe being a spinoff show for her, but it looks like maybe right now she's not. The show has been renewed for a second season, so maybe she'll be a regular second season. But we'll get Tilly as a guest star. Some of the other photos that we got, one that really drew a lot of attention was we have two of our new characters here. The Sandro Rosta, who is at least name. We'll probably get confirmation of the character name. The character's name that he's playing is Caleb Muir, and then Zoe Steiner as Tamara Sadal, standing here in front of a wall of honor that recognizes several significant people in Starfleet. If you notice on the wall, you'll see Hugh Culber, who was the Doctor on the Discovery. You see Captain Will Decker here, who was the captain of the Enterprise briefly in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. We also see Captain John Harriman, who was, of course, the captain of the Enterprise B. We also see Ambassador Garrick. Of course, Garrick was up here in the upper corner. You'll see it. My right, your left, if you're looking at this on the screen. He was the Cardassian on DS9, but who later became, looks like an ambassador for the Cardassian Union after the Dominion War. We see Commander Beckett Mariner, who is just right below Garrick's name. We see Cristobal Rios right above the ticker. He was from Star Trek Picard. Captain Carol Freeman, who was also there. Also, we see Cadet believe Cadet Peter Preston, who sadly perished in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. And a couple, I think Captain Anne Ramsey's another character as a deep cut from the Next Generation episodes, the Elementary Data and the Emissary. So those are some of the names on there. I also saw Dax right there behind Zoe's Steiner character. So all those names up there. If there's some other characters that I may have missed, let me know. Who that is. And thanks, Gazzy. Yeah, it was Q squared. Thanks for that. Thanks for that comment there regarding the second episode of Strange New Worlds and the comment related to Trelane Q and Q's son and the Q character in Voyager. But also we did get some other other items as well. But before I show some of the other photos from the Starfleet Academy, let me just do a quick check-in to see if we've gotten any news from the panel. So first up, yeah, we did get so far we have, and I will share it. We just basically have all the panel coming across with Strange New Worlds. With Christina Chong, Paul Wesley, Jess Bush, Ethan Peck, and Rebecca Romaine. They're all on the stage. As you can I'll pull that up here for you so you can see it from the vantage point of the Strange New Worlds panel. So there we go. They're all walking up on the stage. As far as the showrunners, Alex Kurtzman, Akiva Goldsman, and Henry Alonso Myers, who are the showrunners and executive producers for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So getting back to, and I'm excited. I'm hopeful that we will get. I'm sure we'll get some trailers. We'll probably get another sizzle reel or something for Strange New Worlds this upcoming during this panel. We also get we get a look at the Academy here. Moving back to that, some of the photos that dropped from Entertainment Weekly. We get Oda, the ambassador, the admiral from Star Trek Discovery, Admiral Vance. He is there again on my right, your left. If you're looking at the screen here, so we do again see additional characters crossing over from Star Trek Discovery. There's been a discussion about a new Klingon character who is played by Kareem Dion. The character's name is, at least unconfirmed, is J. Dan Krog. Of course, whenever we get the Starfleet Academy panel later, we will probably get confirmation on all these character names. We see another photo of Sandro Rosta's character standing there in a chair. Again, his potential name is Caleb Muir. That's some photos again from Entertainment Weekly. We also see another new character as far as the actress's name is Bella Shepard, and she is playing a character by the name of Genesis Light. We'll see again if that will be confirmed here at this panel during the Starfleet Academy section of the presentation at Comic-Con. We also see a couple other characters here as well. And then, of course, one of the big ones that we also see Tatiana Maslany's character. And I believe it looks like maybe her son. And we also get a look at Paul Giamatti as a character. Looks like he's a hybrid of several things, but he's an unnamed alien, and we don't know exactly what his role is going to be, other than he's going to be the villain of the story. But hopefully, we'll learn more about him later this hour during the Starfleet Academy section of the panel. But let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about Starfleet Academy? I'm very, very curious. I know there's a show out there. If you watch The Boys, they had a spinoff that went into Gen V that really focuses on the soups getting in their college years. Of course, Starfleet Academy has been something that has been kicked about for years. Harv Bennett, who was part of the creative team for Star Trek The Wrath of Khan back in the late 90s and early 2000s, they really kicked around an idea of a Starfleet Academy show then. But let me know if you're excited about Starfleet Academy. As I sound off in the comments in the chat, would love to hear your thoughts on that. Oh, really funny thing that happened at the panel that I've got to share with you all. I'm gonna load up the photo. I'm gonna load up the asset right now. And if you're there, if you, as far as our moderator, Richard Picardo. Yes, that's right. We I don't know where Robert Picardo is, but apparently Richard Picardo is the moderator for the Star Trek San Diego Comic-Con panel. But oh boy, well, maybe maybe somebody used ChatGPT or something like that to create the thing. Who knows? That's why you got to proofread this stuff, y'all. But let's see. We were getting some other updates from the panel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm following Trek Core on Twitter. So I'm going to share that page so we can all just like follow that one together. And then while we're doing that, and I'll be checking some of my other socials also for other news as it comes. But yeah, as you can see on the screen there, you got Richard Picardo. So we'll see what else is happening at the event. Let's see. So I haven't seen any major updates yet, but we will keep an eye out for it as things go. Hang on one second. As I hit refresh, see if we got any updated news. So now we got an update. So the fans are getting a sneak preview screening of Space Adventure Hour. That's the next episode that will be coming up. So we're not getting to be able to watch that episode, but looks like they're going to be showing the special screening for the next 40 minutes for the Strange New World. Oh, we also get a tease of Strange New World's clip. Oh, let me. So we get a puppet. Oh, looks like we're going to get a puppet character. Oh, of Star Trek: Strange New World, in the season 4 that will be coming in 2026. Wow. All right. Let's see if let's go to our friends over at Trek Core to get this teaser. So here we go. First, playing it for you now.
Hit it.
Awesome. Oh boy, this show, they. All right. Wow. Let me. I'm gonna pull that up again. I was just gonna go. So if you bear with me for just one moment, so we can watch it again because I ended it a little bit early. Stand stand by for 1 minute. All right. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to. All right. Here we go, y'all.
Hit it. You heard me say hit it, right? Spock? Anyone? Did you go to season 4 without me?
All right, what you think, y'all? I really like that. That was a nice little teaser. So just like Strange New Worlds, looks like this season we get a retro show. Last season we get a musical. Sorry about that. Yeah, we got the musical. We get a teaser for you know a puppet show, which again, that's something that's come up in other mediums. I know one of my favorite shows, Doom Patrol, did that. We've also seen that in The Boys, where they use these Muppet characters. So we're getting a puppet. We're getting a puppet episode of Strange New Worlds. Can't wait to see what funky anomaly that happens to get them into this this strange new place of being Muppetized. So this show definitely like takes creative swings. They're definitely not afraid of doing that. So yeah, that's I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments as far as um, that upcoming tease for season 4. Like I said, season 4 did just finish their production, and they will be going into season 5, the fifth and final season, this season, this later this year. So yeah, that was what I guess the big tease that we've gotten out of Strange New Worlds. Let's see what else. Let me just also just sort of check to see if there were other things in addition to that, to our heroes being turned into Muppets, that happened during the panel. Of course, we we do get the as I said, they are streaming right now One of the benefits of being a Hall H, y'all, is sometimes you get to get early access to footage from movies and TV shows, and looks like the fans are getting a special screening in Hall H of the next episode, which will air next Thursday. A sneak preview of a Space Adventure Hour. Here's a let me load up the poster that was dropped for that special event. Looks like the musical was last season. Looks like that's going to be our special thing, one of our special things this season. But here's a copy of the poster that was debuted for a Space Adventure Hour. Let me turn off my banner here so you can see the whole thing. There you go, just basically Paramount original. But that's the upcoming episode this upcoming Thursday, and then we'll see what additional goodies that we will get. But I guess that'll be the teaser, at least for Strange New Worlds, that we'll get. I was wondering if we will get a sizzle reel or something like that for the rest of for this season, but looks like we're getting a little preview of something that's going to be coming for season 4. So we got a comment here. Yeah, we'll be curious to see why they yeah, let me turn up. Thanks for your comment, Gazzy. Yeah, Gazzy and Tazzy. We'll be curious to see how and why they're puppets, but should be fun. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I mean, that's I know the musical episode was very divisive. I really enjoyed it. I and I've commented on this before how I do appreciate how Strange New Worlds has taken creative swings. They really have. But one of the things I do wish, part of me though, in this age of spoilerdom and scoops and all that kind of stuff, part of me was just wish for once we could just just get it raw, just not teased or anything. The new puppet episode is coming. Honestly, I would, but maybe that's just me. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But that's and of course season 1 we also got the fairy tale episode with Dr. Manga and his daughter. So and we've seen we had that back in the Next Generation, and with Picard and the crew when they went on the Robin Hood adventure with Q and Cupid. I think it was Cupid, but yeah, that would be something I would like this maybe just get surprised for once as far as these swings. Of course, the other big swing last season was the crossover with Lower Decks. Yeah, totally agree. It would be cool to be surprised by these big swings. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I really do like the fact I do like to be surprised. There's just in this world of and we've always had scoopers and behind the scene photos with stuff coming out, but it would be cool for once to be able to be genuinely surprised for something that's happening on a TV show or a movie or something like that. And we still get them, don't get me wrong, but just to announce that the whole episode's going to be like that type of thing, that sometimes takes away the surprise. But that's looks like the tease from Strange New Worlds. Let's see if there's anything else that may have been mentioned by the panel there at Hall H. So yeah, so far I'm just seeing. I think that's looks like the major news that came out of Strange New Worlds as people watch the teaser for the episode, a Space Adventure Hour. So I am looking forward to that episode next week. Also, looks like I just did see that there was also a beautiful montage that was shown to all the attendees in Hall H celebrating all of Star Trek. So there was another special presentation for the folks who were there in the hall. And yeah, so that is where things stand, at least with the Strange New Worlds panel for right now. So maybe after they do that special screening, we will get some additional information about what's to come, maybe in Star Trek Strange New World season 3. But in the meantime, I did have a couple other thoughts as far as just some Star Trek news, just to um, talk about while the panel is ongoing. And I did have another couple items from Starfleet Academy as well that I just wanted to hold back, just to as we lead up to that panel, just to um, uh, share with you. And again, thank you so much for joining me. If I didn't say that at the beginning, I really appreciate uh, us sharing this time as Star Trek fans. It's it's really awesome that we have 2 Star Trek uh, shows on. Of course, we do have Strange New Worlds right now, and we'll be having Star Trek Starfleet Academy coming up. And I use that as a segue to talk about, of course, the big news that happened this week. And with and yes, I'm talking about the South Park episode. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. But the news that the Paramount Skydance agreement has gotten approval from the regulators, I believe the FCC, so that that merger can move forward. The deal is going to be closing on August the 7th. So at that point, Paramount and Skydance will be merged into a new company. This merger has been talked about and been negotiated for some time, and it finally is happening. Um, and yeah, so that is definitely something that's transpired. And really some of the things as far as the merger, given that part of this live stream, and maybe they'll address some of that today during the panels. I doubt it. I'll probably just stick to the creative side of things. And I know a lot of folks, and of course Paramount of course has also been in the news in recent days, and a lot of fans are very upset about how the company did settle with the current administration in the White House over some legal matters. And a lot of folks were and also people, and also very upset about what happened with Stephen Colbert. And many Star Trek fans have canceled their subscriptions due to in voting with their pocketbook as far as that decision. But getting back to Star Trek and with this merger, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens after this merger. Because there's next year, Alex Kurtzman, his contract expires. And speaking of that, Gopher did share that he's probably in the minority, but just like anything for JJ Trek or Kurtzman Trek, the only exception is a portion of Picard season 3. And of course, a lot of fans are very, very passionate about Picard season 3 because it feels like it was that missing seat, that true finale for this next generation crew. But yeah, so Kurtzman's contract does expire in 2026. So given that the mergers happened, and all things are on the table now. Secret Hideout, of course, is the production company that actually that has produced the modern Trek shows. But given the fact that his contract is going to expire, hopefully, we know that at least we're going to get at least 2 more seasons of Strange New Worlds and at least 2 seasons of Starfleet Academy, because of these were already greenlit. Season 1 of Starfleet Academy finished production way back in February, so it's in post now as far as just getting all the special effects done, and it's expected to premiere at some point early in 2026. But of course, Strange New Worlds will, thankfully, since they're filming seasons 4 and 5 back to back, we won't have the long period like we had between seasons 2 and 3 of Strange New Worlds, where that was, it took 2 years for the show to come back. Part of that too was also just kind of messed up due to the writer strike and some other things. But that being said, once that happens, Trek could go in a lot of different places. We also know that there's two movies that have been approved by the current leadership at the studio. But we've been, well, Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin universe, that has been it's been in limbo forever. I honestly, and that's the one with Chris Pine, for folks who may be new to Star Trek. But I at this point I don't know what's going to happen with that one. But there was also another version that was that has been greenlit as far as another prequel type film that will be chronicle, sort of almost like an origin story, where we get in that period in between Enterprise and the current modern day Trek, as far as the 23rd century timeline. So we'll see what happens there. Will those projects may continue? The new studio may cancel them, and we do have some precedent in this with where properties have been acquired. I mean, look at Lucasfilm and Disney, and so whenever there have been new things that have been started with the Star Wars universe, during the since Disney acquired the rights to that property from and acquired Lucasfilm. So of course we got bangers like Andor and of course the Mandalorian, even though season 3 was a little shaky, but we've also got a few stinkers from them as well. So we'll see what happens as far as what on the business side of things, what will happen after with this merger. Another big thing is, I mean, Star Trek 2026, it will be the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. And so I'm sure hopefully there'll be a lot of big news, that will come out, for the 60th anniversary. Maybe I don't know. Obviously, we won't get a new film during that time, because it just won't be enough time to produce something like that. But oh yeah, and also yeah, that's right, Gopher. There was the Pawnee workplace comedy show. They are working on a workplace comedy on a resort planet. Hopefully that'll survive the merger. We don't. I would assume so, but we don't know. That show may not go forward because of the changes of ownership and stuff. Let's see, another comment. I hope to get Muppet Trek is just advertisement rather than actual episode. The gimmick episodes are what takes me out of Star Trek. JJ Kurtzman just don't understand Star Trek. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Gopher. I mean, that's a very, very fair point. A lot of folks do get taken out. And like I said earlier, the musical episode in particular was really, really divisive. I think folks either really, really enjoyed it, or really just didn't flow with it. And it's everybody. That's the thing about Star Trek. After, like I said, almost 60 years, there's just so many things under that umbrella for Star Trek. I mean, there's things that are for you. There are things that I may like that you don't like, or there are things that you like that I'm sort of like that I cringe on. So, I think that's one of the beautiful things about having a franchise like Star Trek. And no matter when you're on ramp to the universe, um, um, that does definitely has merit. And I completely agree with your comment here that there are just too many of these gimmicky episodes for a 10-episode season. I completely agree with that comment as far as if you're going to do it right. We're not in the days of 20 plus episode seasons, which is another downfall of the problem of the streaming era, is that a lot of our favorite shows only have 6, 7, 8, 9 10 episode seasons, and it's gotten fewer because, at least, when I think back to like early days of streaming, like, thinking about, for example, some of the Marvel Netflix shows. I mean, they had 16, 17, 18 episode seasons, 15 episode seasons. But as streaming has progressed, it seems like the episode counts have gotten fewer. um but so yeah, you do, so I know a lot of folks, probably these gimmicky episodes in the past would have been, characterized as filler. uh but um but um but now, with 10 episodes, you really don't have room for the quote unquote filler episode. And so, yeah, so, so I can understand for some fans, it's very hard that, if you do these filler episodes, it takes you out of it. Like you say, you're an outlier because you grew up on Star Trek since September 8th, 1966. Yeah. So, you're a true long time Trek fan. I'm a Gen Xer, so I came up growing up watching Star Trek during the early 80s and stuff on syndicated TV. And of course, Next Generation was, I guess I was 87, so you know um, I was teenager at that point, in my 13 or so. So yeah, so it was definitely, um I was my own rampant Star Trek. So everybody has their entries into it. But like I said too, I think the cool thing about Star Trek is no matter where you enter on it, there's definitely something there for everyone. um so baby boomer, yeah. Cool. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate the comments, and if you haven't done so, really would appreciate a like on this video too. I know I had a few little technical things earlier, but just trying to cover all the things that are happening at the panels. But let's see if there's anything else that's going on. Looking at the time here. Um, Another cool thing I forgot that about the episode Space Adventure Hour. Speaking of Next Generation, it is directed by Jonathan Frakes, and I think I saw that somewhere before, but I have forgotten that. So that's very exciting. Of course, Two Takes Frakes. He always brings it whenever he directs any type of Star Trek episode. So we can enjoy that episode next week. Definitely does seem like, I think that might be maybe a holodeck adventure, or maybe that might be the one where they're going to be um, the vintage the retro TV show that we saw earlier, or maybe, yeah, or maybe this, or maybe they're the same. Of course, we saw those in the teaser um, earlier this year. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with those episodes. As we wait for the oh you're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm a big fan, and I appreciate you all watching. I enjoy Star Trek, and definitely want to share that love with fans, whether it's in person or virtual. And thank you all for joining me on this live stream as we see what's happening there in Hall H, since we all can't all go to San Diego. And even if you do go to San Diego, from folks who have been there, there's no guarantee you'll get the Hall H. So I appreciate you all joining this stream. We're 40 some minutes in, and I do appreciate that. Um, yeah, as far as you can tell, there'll be 3 out of the 10 of these gimmick episodes this season. Yeah, that probably tracks. It's hard, I know like I said, I haven't watched episode 3 yet. I do understand, but I do, spoiler alert, do understand there is a particular, they are dipping their toes in the horror genre. And that's all I'll say, because I want to be respectful of other folks who are also on the stream, who haven't watched the episode yet. So like I said, I will be giving my thoughts on both episodes 2 and 3 in an upcoming video. And be sure to check out my current video here on our channel. It's a we're full. We cover a lot of things here on the podcast, but I have a special. I do this special Star Trek Blur Trek show because I like to again just want to indulge my host wants she figured she's like, go ahead and indulge your nerdiness on Star Trek, Will, and so I did. So, but oh, welcome. You're watching from Tasmania. Awesome. Great. This is like an international stream, so I'm really appreciate you watching from Australia. Thank you. All righty, let's see. While we are waiting for the news about the upcoming Starfleet Academy show, let me pivot back to that just for a little bit. And there was, as I noted, there are some photos from the new Starfleet Academy show, and there was a long write up in Entertainment Weekly that I wanted to share with you all. And before I do that, though, there are a couple more things that I think there was one last photo I wanted to share from the Entertainment Weekly article, and this was another character. Looks like a blend between. Looks like a Jem'Hadar. If you've watched DS9, that to me she looks like a Jem'Hadar, which you know I thought all the Dominion cloning technology was gone. It's been a minute since I've watched all of DS9, and I know of course Star Trek Picard season 3 also referenced the Dominion War as well. But looks like we may have a Jem'Hadar in our midst in Starfleet Academy. Hey, Gazzy and Tazzy, yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely a Jem'Hadar. Yeah, I know the one of the teases in the article that I'm gonna share here with you guys here in a second. References a blended character, but we'll see. Let me add this to my screen. Let me close this Jem'Hadar. And then here's the Entertainment Weekly article that dropped a couple days ago with these photos, and they of course that's where I pulled these photos from that article. So just want to give the proper credit. But a couple things that the Starfleet Academy show, Kurtzman and a couple other people who are associated with the show also share some thoughts with it. But this is again, this is not Star Trek Legacy, which I know a lot of folks are really hoping will also get greenlit after Star Trek Picard, and maybe that's something that might happen. I know Terry Matalas is he's in the Marvel universe right now, shooting the new Vision show as the showrunner for it. So that is happening in the with Terry right now. So he's a little bit engaged, but hopefully after that show, maybe assuming that he doesn't do any other projects for Marvel, maybe if with the new studio ownership, maybe that could be a place where especially if Secret Hideout does continue to run the studio, do production for Star Trek, that's the place they could go. Or another thing too is they could also possibly if a new studio ownership wanted to go into another space of Star Trek, maybe they could pull back the Legacy, given that it was such great fan reaction to it. But here's just a few things about the Starfleet Academy shows. We wait for that panel to start. And one of the executive producers, Alex Kurtzman and Gaia Violo, and pardon me if I've mispronounced your last name, basically had this to say about the about the show. If you're going to do a show about a young generation facing the future, and you want it as all Star Trek does, to be a mirror that holds itself up to the world as it is now, to situate the show in the Halcon days of the Federation world, in some ways be dishonest. So Kurt said, who was the showrunner, told Entertainment Weekly, basically the days of when everything was peace and prosperity for the Federation. So he's trying to say, right now, quote, our children are facing a lot of challenges right now, and they are our hope for the future. So I guess that's some of the tonal things we'll probably see from Star Trek. Starfleet Academy is sort of mirroring some of the challenges that we're facing in the present day. The article goes on, it says, as the first look of the show, the latest entry is set in the 32nd century, and it revolves around the first class of Starfleet cadets at the Academy after 120 years. Quote, Kurtzman says they got a lot riding on their shoulders, and they're meant to reestablish and rebuild everything that we all know and love about Star Trek. They convey hope, and they search for hope, and they search for hope, and that felt like an extremely relevant message to talk about today. So, I have to say, I do like that they're possibly going the route of something a little different with this storyline. Let's see. I'll zoom in for you. Yeah. Let me I'll go back to that photo in just a bit. The reason I asked is the scenery looks awful. A lot of sceneries in Strange New Worlds. Isn't Discovery before Strange New Worlds? So yeah, so Discovery, actually the first 2 seasons were set during that, before Strange New Worlds, because remember, Strange New Worlds was a spinoff. Well, of course it was the original. It's a weird show. It's sort of like hybrid. It's, of course, obviously Pike was the captain in the original pilot going way back in the 60s, but then Strange New Worlds is a sort of a pilot / spinoff, because in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery, Pike comes over to take command of the Enterprise, and we also see Spock in the second season of Star Trek Discovery. Spoiler alert: Spock and Michael Burnham, who played by Sonequa Martin Green in Star Trek Discovery, were she was Spock's adopted sister. Sarek took her under their adopted her into the family, and I won't go into details about the plot for season 2 because I don't want to spoil everything. But I mean, what I'm telling now is just generally known. But Pike was the temporary captain of Discovery, and so that's how we got into, it was such a great reaction of Anson Mount as Christopher Pike, and then there was a short trek that those little mini trek, there were little mini episodes that aired for 2 seasons. Back in, I think, after season 1 of Discovery, and maybe also I believe after season 2, where we also got number 1 reintroduced. Of course, she's been played now by Rebecca Romaine, and then of course we saw Ethan Peck as Spock, and where it was Spock's first day on the Enterprise as an ensign. So yeah, so that was the I wish they would do more short treks too. They were a lot of fun. So at the end of season 2, Discovery did end up in the 32nd century because of things happening. Again, I don't want to spoil it for folks who haven't watched it, but yeah, there was obviously a time jump. I'll just say it that way. And now the remaining episodes of Star Trek Discovery were in the 32nd century, and a lot of stuff happened there. And the Federation as we know it is not around. And again, I don't want to spoil things from Star Trek Discovery, and I know again, Discovery is very split opinion among the fandom about that show. but they do have some pretty interesting elements of that. By taking the show into the future, they were freed from some of the shackles of doing a prequel show with Canon and stuff. So they were able to explore some pretty interesting things in that show. But yeah, that's sort of where things stand with that show. So so I was just looking at the time. So I know the panel started at 3:30 Eastern, and I know that episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds typically runs about 40 some odd minutes or so. So apparently that current episode. So yeah, so that's a couple other quick things about the story before we go back to seeing if there's anything new with Strange New Worlds. Excuse me, Starfleet Academy. Looks like they do some interviews with the cast and stuff. So I'll drop this article for folks who let me see if I could drop it in the chat for folks who want to read it, and then I'll also be sure to post it here on the on the stream, in the comments. Not only post it in the comments, so hopefully you can tap on it there, but also I will post it on the in the description so you can go back and read it later. Now, is the panel streaming anywhere? No, unfortunately it's not. Just catching up with it on social media and stuff. Last year's panel, it was great because there was one person who was doing a blog post from it and was really updating stuff, real time. But here we go. Got just the fresh updates on from about Strange New Worlds. An update we will see an episode where will show us Kirk's first day on the job as Enterprise captain. We started. Let me share that for you all. Here we go. So here we go. Yeah. So let me close that. Hope I don't like. There we go. It was revealed that will show us Kirk's first day on the job as Enterprise captain. We started having this idea of those great lost eras that existed in all our head canon and ancillary canon, but had never really gotten much of a chance to be seen on the screen, co-showrunner said. So what we've tried to do is to reach back to Pike's Enterprise and instill in it that kind of storytelling values we have today and bring us right up to Kirk's first day on the job. And that is our hope, and that is our plan. And we plan to get you there. So going back to the beginning of this stream, I played that interview from the Hollywood Reporter social media page, and they reference, will we see some characters from the original series? And so they mentioned that we wouldn't they didn't name names, but there might be an opportunity to see some of the characters. So Simmer GM viewing. Do you want me to show that again as far as and blow it up a little bit so you can see it? I was just trying to read it off for you. I'm sorry. I get what you're talking about. You're talking about the aesthetic on the new modern Trek. Yeah, I get that. I know that was a problem I had with Star Trek Picard too. I felt like the aesthetic sometimes the light was just too dark. I mean, we went from lens flares with J.J. Abrams and in the films to like basically being in a submarine under attack or something like that, where the lights were super dim. But yeah. Let's see. I know y'all were seeing some discussion about Paul Wesley as Kirk, and I like his portrayal. Obviously, I appreciate the fact that both he and Chris Pine don't do William Shatner imitations, because then that will look like Jim Carrey. Whenever Jim Carrey, I'm maybe dating myself as far as back in the '90s, as far as In Living Color and his portrayal of James Kirk. But I think if anybody does that, tries to imitate Shatner, if they try to imitate the performance of Shatner, it comes across, it'll look like Jim Carrey, in that portrayal. So I would not. I'm glad that they take aspects of Kirk's personality, but they don't try to speak like Shatner, because as we all know, Bill Shatner is just a class of his own. Let's see what else we got from the. Let me check the socials and see what updates we have, because we're at 4:30, and I know the panels is a hour and a half. So okay. Oh, so they did fix they did fix Robert Picardo's nameplate at the panel, because it was unfortunately misspelled as Robert, but now they got it back to uh, his correct name. Just checking the socials, checking the blog pages. Don't see any other updated news right now, but I will definitely share that as soon as we get it. Any other news items? Let's see. I think the best Kirk. Oh yeah. I have not seen the Star Trek Continues. Is that the one that's done by the Nacelle? Was it Nacelle Company? The ones that they did the unification videos. I can't remember, because of course Shatner came back for that one, and of course we did have Sam Witwer step into the role there. This is sort of a body double with William Shatner as well. But yeah, so that was the one recently that they've had the whole series. With the Yeoman Colt, there was one with Spock, and then of course there was the one with Shatner, and I did a video on it here too, with that beautiful tribute I thought that was done, for Kirk being able to say goodbye to his friend, after being stuck in the Nexus and all that. But I'll definitely have to check out Star Trek Continues, because I have not seen that. So I will add that to my media consumption. Let's see. Let me just go back through to see if I missed any comments in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. We were just talking about the sets of Starfleet Academy, Look Strange New Worlds, set 1,000 years in the future. Yeah, I think that's that is something that is definitely a challenge. I think given how modern the sets on Strange New Worlds looks, and then you're trying to take that and go 1,000 years in the future. Even yeah, there was even. I think we're watching Discovery. They did some pretty decent jobs of having things be a little bit more future tech. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge for the production designers to be able to show that almost 1,000-year time gap. Let's see if there's any other things I've missed in the chat. Appreciate you all engaging with me here in the chat, and as we as we see all the happenings at San Diego Comic-Con. Again, if you haven't, please drop a like on this video, and if you enjoy what I'm doing here, would appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel as well. As I said, I'll be dropping more Star Trek content, as well as just our general content. If you like things in Marvel, DC, we're going to be giving our review of Fantastic Four on our show this Monday. We also just recently did Superman as well. We also dip our toes outside of the nerd geekdom space as well sometimes, and if you are a fan of The Bear on FX and Hulu, we just had a review of that. But yeah, of course, our bread and butter is Marvel, DC, Star Trek, science fiction stuff, but science fiction, comic book shows, and those types of things. But we also dip our toes into other areas as well, especially if there's shows that that myself and my host Sarah Belmont we enjoy and want to talk about something, take a little break from the geek and nerd stuff from time to time. So we did that with The Bear, and also recently with The Studio on that was on Apple TV. Just checking here, see if there's any new updates from the panels. Let's see. Oh, so they're doing questions now. So they did ask, as speaking of Marvel, they did ask if she about Rebecca Romaine being in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday film. She of course she played Mystique in those X-Men movies back in the early aughts, and she did say, I'm not sure if Mystique's scenes have all been filmed. They haven't finished writing it, but they keep everything close to the vest themselves in an effort to keep everything under wraps. And that goes back to something I said earlier here in the stream about how it feels like everything just sort of pops out and spoiled these days. And so it's cool when we get some genuine surprises, what with shows and stuff. All right. So next they are let's see, here we go. We got a couple things now. The Strange New World cast just got they're on the stage. I'm gonna share this so y'all could see the comments together. Just bear with me just for 1 second. Not much, but we are finally getting some substantive comments. So going back to the show, so the panel, Paul Wesley did show up on the stage and just said that he said it for as far as shooting the Space Adventure Hours was the most fun I've had shooting anything. Freights us a bell of energy and joy, full of energy and joy. They try my best to pay homage and respect to Shatner. We're all just having so much fun. So yeah, so getting back to what I was just talking about before with Paul Wesley's portrayal of Jim Kirk and not trying to do a Shatner imitation, but definitely tries to respect what the legend Bill Shatner did, but also put his own mark on the character of Jim Kirk. Ethan Peck mentions that the 4.5 Vulcans episode, seeing the cast transformed, I had this bizarre sense of family when they had their ears and eyebrows. I gave them advice, but they didn't need it. And then another thing that we saw in the I guess the panel is Kurtzman is taking the stage to talk about the Con audio drama podcast. Yeah, I know there's also going to be that Con audio drama podcast that's going to be coming up. I saw that announced earlier this year, but I haven't had a chance to follow up much on it. But moving to other things, how well versed are you in TOS? I would say fairly well versed. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I do know my took. Let's see. Okay, Half-Jacks. Do you ever duck when you hear fire at will? Yeah, sometimes I do. I will admit that does happen from time to time. The worst thing is when there are two Wills in the room, and then I'm like have to like look around to see like, okay, no, you're talking to me, you're talking to the other Will. Looking forward to seeing all the panels today. All I've had seen is the 49-second clip, and I'm so excited for that. Thanks for the coverage. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, that's the only thing that's been released so far, has been that clip for the Muppet episode of Strange New Worlds that's coming up in season 4. But I am sure we will finally get some footage from Starfleet Academy today, because other really those Entertainment Weekly photos are really like the first looks that we've gotten from that show, other than just the cast. Like, I think there was a photo of the cast like taking a photo of themselves outside the Star Trek studios in Toronto, but beyond that we really haven't seen any official photos from Starfleet Academy, and not even behind the scenes set photos or anything. um Let's see. Space Adventure Hour is probably the best episode so far this season. Looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one this week. I really am. I know, because I felt like episode 2, uh, the more I was just telling my wife earlier today, the more I think about it, the less I feel good about that episode. It's just, I don't know. I won't repeat some of my thoughts on the Trelane and Q of it all from earlier in the stream, but yeah, it doesn't sit as well with me as it did when I first watched it. Not that I say it was bad. It's just I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would say some that I enjoyed the first episode this season. Isn't it amazing that normal Vulcans must take years of training to suppress their emotions, and a drug can do that for you as well as change your hairstyle? Yeah, yeah, that is pretty funny. I guess everything's in a pill these days. Maybe they're doing a commentary on pharmaceuticals. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. We'll definitely have more Star Trek commentary and comments and everything as we move forward. So that's what we have from the panel. So that's what we have so far. Let me see. Let me just refresh the page, see if we've got anything new for the Starfleet Academy show. Oh, here we go. So we did get some new news. As I was just speaking about, the we are getting as far as the Star Trek audio drama regarding Khan. It has George Takei returning as Captain Sulu, and Tim Russ returning as Tuvok. So, if you've watched Voyager during the 40th anniversary track, I guess it was the 40th anniversary. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. They had they had an episode that picked up some of the events in Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, and it was as the Excelsior was on its way to rescue Kirk, help Kirk out and the crew with the Kittimer in the Undiscovered Country, and we do see or maybe it's right prior to the events, but anyway, we do learn that Tuvok, who was of course on the Voyager with Captain Janeway, was a member of his first stint in Starfleet was actually on the Excelsior with Captain Sulu. So looks like they're tying in this that episode to this, and the audio drama, which will be premiering on Star Trek Day, which is I guess the U.S. Star Trek Day, because it aired in Canada, I think 2 days earlier. But the audio drama podcast with George Takei, Tim Russ, will be premiering on September 8th this year. So that is very exciting. I did not expect that news to come today during the panel, but that is awesome news that we'll be getting the we'll be getting that information, that audio drama. So this is very exciting because, of course, Khan, I guess it's really going to get into the backstory of Khan scene, and of course, we'll definitely see the tie-ins with Sulu and Kirk, so I'm very excited about that. Let's see. general, it's hard to modernize both Star Wars and Trek to make it popular with younger fans. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm a Gen Xer. I know I don't know what the age range is for other folks here on the stream, but the fandom is not getting any younger. So whatever they can do to modernize Trek, it's just like James Bond. I mean, James Bond has been around forever, but they find new ways to modernize the character. As far as as far as the live action, and Star Trek has to do the same to stay relevant. Hell, even Star Wars is coming up. Will be 50 years old before we know it. So you gotta you gotta modernize the show for sure. Yeah, we've been hearing about it for years and years. Definitely. It is very exciting to hear about that. You're younger, Amelia. Yep. I'm a firm believer that Discovery and Strange New World takes place in an alternate Star Trek universe and not the Prime universe. Yeah, I've seen that theory out there too, that that the show does take place in an alternate timeline. But I think it's in the Prime. I do. But reasonable minds can we can disagree without being disagreeable. But I always felt that the show was indeed in the prime timeline, and I know they tried to fix that too in the canon with Strange New Worlds, in particular dealing with things like the eugenics wars and other things as well, to be able to reconcile not only the things that happen in real world but also in the Star Trek world. So you're younger boomer. There you go. And then we have born in 99 and 34. Yeah, so yeah, that's how my host. We are a blend of my host Sarah, partner here on the podcast. She's a millennial. I'm a Gen Xer, so so whenever if you ever listen to our pods, you can definitely sometimes see the time difference in some of our takes for sure. But I have seen that the new Starfleet Academy panel has started. So we'll be looking out for. I'm sure we'll be getting that first trailer any moment now, for that show, because you can't come to Hall H and not drop a big trailer, right? I mean, you have to. Um, Otherwise, like, what are you doing? So let me see if check the social medias to see if there's any trailer drops that we can watch here and react to together here on the stream. So we shall see what we get here. Hang on 1 second. Just bear with me as I check the interwebs and see what if anything is new from the panel, because they're going to be running up on time here. Yeah, so right now, oh, there is a trailer for the audio drama. So let me share that with you all. Stand by. Taking a second to load up. While I wait for that, here we go. Alrighty, I'm going to share this with y'all so you can react together to it. React to it together real time, because I have not listened to it. So let's listen to it.
This is Star Trek Khan, the untold story of Star Trek's most legendary villain.
Captain Sulu, the new pieces added to this puzzle by the logs I retrieved on SETI Alpha 5 only confirm my belief that Khan was much more than a mad tyrant.
What is it you hope to achieve here? Khan and his people are dead.
It is my intention to find the truth. Help me find the rest of the story.
Featuring Naveen Andrews as Khan.
Kirk did us a favor. From this quintessence of dust, we will rise.
Weapons ready! Fire! Ren Schmid as Lieutenant Marla
The
MacGyvers.
simple fact remains that we are both here now and must find a way to share this world and its dwindling resources.
Sonia Cassidy as Dr. Rosalind Lear.
In my experience, monsters are made, not born.
With Tim Ross as Ensign Tuvok.
Vulcans find it incredibly difficult to lie. Why this renders us especially sensitive to the lies of others, I am not aware.
And George Takei as Captain Sulu.
Khan was one of humanity's greatest mistakes, a product of ill-advised genetic manipulation.
If there is any justice in this universe, one day we might avenge ourselves. Starting with Captain James T. Kirk.
Star Trek Khan. Coming soon, wherever you get your podcasts.
Alrighty, that was pretty exciting. I'm definitely gonna check that podcast out. For definitely for sure. In audio form, yeah. It looks like it'll be audio form. I don't know if they'll do any animations or anything with it. That may have just been part of the promotional trailer, but but definitely sounds good. It's great to see George Takei back as Sulu, Captain Sulu, and sadly we're only down to 3 people from the original cast with Walter and George and Shatner. So it's good to see him back as a character. And also it's great to have Tim Russ return as Tuvok. And we saw Tuvok in live action in Star Trek Picard season 3 as well. So it definitely does sounds good. Only coming to a theater near you. Yeah. Well, at least we're back in the days where you can go watch movies in the theater. For the longest time, it was just like that. Split between home and streaming. But so stupid. So are you not a fan of the? I'm curious. What's stupid? Oh, okay. Thanks. No, thanks for the clarification. Yeah. Saying it was a joke is because I'm disappointed it's only been audio form. Yeah. I get that. But for sure. Well, if Discovery came to you and asked you to monitor Star Trek, how would you attract my generation? Oh, I might have to. I'm gonna put a pin in that today, and I'm gonna do a video on that. How about that? I want to put some thought into that. Just saying something off the cuff. That's a great question. Thumbs up. Yeah, I'll do a video on that. That's a great question, and I will definitely do so. Good thing is the chat will repeat, and I will give you my thoughts as far as how we can modernize Star Trek. I did share a little bit that on just my last video with the thoughts of the Strange New World season 3 premiere. But oh, here we go. We do get a teaser trailer in the Starfleet Academy, and here we go. Let me get it up for you guys, and we will watch it together. Stand by. Here we go.
And so, we begin. I'm Captain Nala Ake, Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. We're all the first Academy class to return to our campus in San Francisco after more than 120 years. Some of you are here for your families, some for yourselves. Together, you are the best and the brightest from across the galaxy. A tapestry that is Starfleet. You will learn the skills that shaped our greatest officers. Like them, we'll ask you to give more of yourselves than you knew you had. To dream without limitations. Whatever challenges came before today led you to this moment.
Cisco, yes.
You here now. You weave together the future. So go out and seek, explore, boldly go where no one has gone before. It is my great honor to welcome you all to Starfleet Academy.
All right, fam. All right, y'all. What do y'all think? That looked good. I have to say, I am very optimistic. That looked good. Well, I was looking at the oh no, lost my camera there, but that looked very, very good. Yeah, and I'm glad yeah, I agree. I'm glad she kept the accent as well. Looks like a Star Trek mixed with the Vampire Diaries, but a good way. Yeah. Definitely made for young adults. Yeah. 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 I think that's fair to say. Let me see. Let's see. Looks really good. Better than I was expecting. Yeah. I mean, I was not sure what to expect either, but yeah, I definitely liked that as well. I think it looks very, very, very promising. I know that I saw a couple of things in the in the trailer where it was we saw, you know, obviously the James T. Kirk Pavilion there. We saw the saw the reference to Captain Cisco, which I appreciate all that, yeah, that they had that with as well. I mean, I know that the New Entertainment Weekly article, or maybe I saw some materials out there, production materials out there that referenced that they were going to be honoring all the generations of Trek. Yeah, it looks like they'll, yeah. So I think it looks good, but it has Discovery vibes. Um, Looks like there'll be many member berries. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's just. I think at this juncture, we just have come to expect member berries. Get my camera working again. Yep, there I am. Cool. I am back. All righty. So yeah, that looked very, very good. Really enjoy that trailer. Lots of member berries for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely a lot of member berries. But again, that's something that that does happen with these shows these days. But I will give them a pass for that, as long as they're not member berries for member berry's sake. I think that's the thing that gets me, is where where you just have that kind of stuff just for memory, just for like, there just for memory berry's sake, but not necessarily, doesn't add to the story. It's just there is just like a funny name drop. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm back. Don't have my virtual background anymore though. uh but yeah, I think that's the but yeah, very very excited about that trailer, and looks like we're definitely gonna get a lot of good stuff from the show. But the show is coming early 2026, so that's good. We do get the names of the characters and stuff as well. So that will confirm. Let me go check out some of the. I know I had shared them earlier in the stream, but let me see if I can get the names of the characters. Oh, so here's the yeah. Let me share my screen again, because we are getting some details about the characters, particularly Paul Giamatti's character. Um, let's see. So let me do that real fast. Stand by for 1 second. There we go. So we learned that Paul Giamatti's character is a villain called Nus Baraka. Baraka. It's half Klingon, half Tellurite. I can see that. I can definitely see that. The Academy itself is aboard USS Athena, a new massive ship that serves as home base the series. Yeah. So yeah, not to spoil too much for folks who haven't watched Star Trek Discovery, but I will say that Starfleet itself is no longer headquartered on Earth, and I'll just leave it there. Let you go check it out. Looks like we do have a new hologram character. Carsey Books is playing the character. Is it Sam? Is a hologram created only weeks before her character reaches the Academy. So again, nice tie-in to the emergency medical hologram, with Robert, with the doctor. So she's a species Kiskani focus operations. Of course, we do learn that Holly Hunter's character is Ilana Aki, the Chancellor of the Academy, and she's captain of the USS Athena, who actually happens to be a half Latinite, which, of course, that's a nice tie-in to Strange New Worlds, because, as we all know, Pelia, who is currently the Enterprise's engineer, is also Lathanite. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, we do know that the Doctor, Robert Picardo, uh, oops, and Jet Reno and Admiral Vance are all returning. Both are returning from Discovery, and of course, Picardo was both in Voyager and, of course, Star Trek Prodigy. And then looks like the Paul Giamatti character is someone who has a history with the one of the cadets at the Academy, which we learned about that, I believe, last year when the show was first announced, that or at least when Paul Giamatti's character was cast, that his character had history with one of the cadets. And then Holly Hunter says to be offered Chancellor made a wonderful combination of many things. Cool thing about the show is massive scale of the show combined with the emotional intimacy we all have with one another. And then here's, of course, the trailer again on this particular site. So let me just jump back to the chat. Yeah, I think Paul Giamatti's character whistling the Star Trek theme's a little too meta for me. Yeah, they've been doing that's true. It definitely is some of those meta moments, but it works. Hesitant, give it a try. Yeah, yeah. I always give new series a 3-episode try, just to make sure that I feel like you need 3 episodes to give it a fair chance. Paul is good and everything. Holly should be fun. I think this is Trexportation. I think having a good concept and cast to bring in as many generations as possible. Excited for the Doctor. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, and they are both Academy Award winners. Yes, we definitely have some talent on this show, for sure. And then let's see what else we got here. Yes, they are all going all out. Yep, they definitely are. So yeah, so that is they definitely are doing so with the casting for sure with this show. They are definitely getting some heavy hitters to with Holly Hunter and both Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti to be in this show. Yeah. Yeah, well, fair. I can't like say anything other than that. Very, 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 very fair point. Very, very fair point. But there were a lot of problems with Section 31, which I went into greatly in my review of that show. But we'll leave bless their hearts, as we say here in the South. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else from what else do we have from from Hall H. I guess the panel should be wrapping up pretty soon because they'll schedule for an hour and a half, and it's a little after 5 here Eastern. So just double checking before we go here. But yeah, thank you all again for joining me on this live stream. Yeah, going back to Section 31. Yeah, though it wasn't Michelle Yeoh's fault at all. No, it was definitely the writing. Yeah, her performance in that was great. I mean, you can't deny that she brought it as far as her acting. She always brings it in whatever she's in. But yeah, the writing in that show did not do her any favors whatsoever. Yeah, you mean someone actually wrote that? Yeah, maybe it went through ChatGPT. I don't know. But I think that let me see, let me just check a couple more sources, but I think I think that was obviously we wanted to see that trailer. Yeah, yeah. This is a trailer again. Yeah, the panel did just end. But just a couple more things, and then I'm a drop as well. Let me pull up the other comments from the blog that I was following for the Starfleet Academy show. So a couple quotes from it. We're learning more about the upcoming this is from the blog post. Our rule on the show was the teachers have to be interesting and as fun as the cadets, said Alex Kurtzman. So if you've seen Harry Potter, obviously the teachers are a huge part of it, and they're just as entertaining, and that's how we wanted to build it. And then he, as the panel closes with the trailer. I mean, this cast, you guys, I got to tell you, to a person, unbelievable. Like sitting in the editing room, having just an incredible amount of options, said Alex Kurtzman. They're so excellent. Every single one of them. What's really incredible was that we have Paul Giamatti, we have Tatiana Maslany, we have Bob Picardo, we have Tig Notaro, we have Gina Yashiri. We have all these incredible actors who are veterans, and then we have some people who are literally, I'm not kidding you, 2 weeks before we started shooting, we pulled Sandro Rosta out of drama school, and that was a wrap on the Star Trek panel covered by that organization. But yeah. Oh yeah, you're more than welcome, Gassy and Tassie. And thank you for joining us from Australia. I really do appreciate you doing that, and everyone, quite frankly, for joining me on this stream. Hope you all really enjoyed it. I know it was very, very fun to share this panel with a lot of fans. Getting back to the Harry Potter comment, I'm a Huffleborg. I like that. I like that. But yeah, be sure to I'll if you want to go back and if you joined in progress, especially because I know this was an hour and a half long panel. Please go back and watch from the beginning. But also, I'll be back in another hour or so. If you're big fans of the DC universe, I'm going to be doing another live blog with a guest from A Plus Opinions podcast. We're going to be discussing the Peacemaker show panel coming up from Hall H at 6:30. So feel free to, if you like the DC universe, jump on that with me as well. But like I said, here on the main podcast or wherever you get your podcasts, Sarah and I will be doing a review of the Fantastic Four First Steps. We'll be recording it Monday night and dropping it shortly after that. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to leave a like and thank you all for all the comments that you've shared with me here. A lot of fun talking with you all during this San Diego Comic-Con live stream. And again, you can follow us on all the socials. Be sure to go to our website as well, www.cinenerdpodcast.com. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, or follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. And with that, thank you again for joining me. Peace and long life, and live long and prosper.